Hello, my name is Ricky Brown and I am a student of Dr. Hoover's EDU 333 class this semester. Today I'm going to present to you all of my projects from the last 15 weeks and share with you what I've learned. Before I present my projects, you may notice the small QR codes in the bottom right-hand corner of almost every slide. QR codes are similar to barcodes except they store data more efficiently, and people are able to download a free QR code reader and scan these to obtain information. You can use QR codes to directly link you to websites, upload your grocery receipts onto your phone, link it to your business card, use it to send out information on an event in your community, along with many other ways. This program is called Voki, and it's a free online website. Once on the website, you are able to create an avatar, which is an animated character. You can make the character look like yourself or a fictional person. I learned that communicating through an avatar can be very effective. I can use avatars to help children introduce each other during the first week of school, help communicate with children that are nonverbal, or use them for online-based classes by conveying messages through this avatar. Here's an example of the Voki I made.
Hello, my name is Ricky Brown, and I'm a senior early childhood and special education major. Technology is essential in education because it serves as a way to communicate to students, engage students in classroom lessons, and stay current with teaching strategies.
This is the Google Drive collaborative survey project I made. First, I got together with a group of students and created survey questions based on 3 topics: demographics, technology, and interests and hobbies. We then used Google Drive to send out our surveys to our peers. Google Drive is an online storage cloud where documents, photos, and videos can be placed and sent out. This project was completed collaboratively, and the difference between collaboration and group work is that collaboration takes place when people share their thoughts, bounce ideas off of one another, and use teamwork to complete the project. Group work is just completing a project with other people by splitting up the work without discussing ideas and collaboration. The benefits of Google Drive are that it allows you to work collaboratively with group members, live edit materials, start a chat dialogue, and work on the project on everyone's own terms, as this tool allows people to work in collaboration without physically being together. I could use Google Drive as a future teacher by having students complete projects together at home by using this tool. The next project was creating using Powtoon. Powtoon is an online website in which videos can be created using animations, pictures, and text. In this particular Powtoon, I created a presentation of the survey results from my Google Drive collaboration survey project I just got done discussing. The benefits of using Powtoon is that it's free for the user and is visually appealing and easier to understand for the learner. Young students learn best from visual material rather than just looking at a list of facts, and this tool allows you to do just that. I can use Powtoon in my future career by displaying introduction presentations to convey a central message at the beginning of a lesson, or I could use it to assess children by having them create videos on a topic they just learned about and checking for comprehension of the material. Here's a little bit of my Powtoon video. The next 2 projects I'm going to share with you are both formative assessment tools. A formative assessment is a form of assessment used during instruction to check for student comprehension and make modifications and adaptations to the teaching strategies as needed based off of the results. The first assessment was created using Kahoot. Kahoot is an interactive, active responding assessment in which students view questions that are projected and select answers on their phones, computers, or tablets. I created Kahoot on animals for this project, and it could be used for lower elementary grades. The pros of Kahoot are that it gets the students involved, videos and pictures can be inserted into the questions, and the results are instant. The cons of this tool are that children have to read the question from a projector and then make a response on a device, and this can often be difficult for students and especially those that struggle with reading or have visual impairments. This is another formative assessment tool I created, except this one was created with Socrative. Socrative is very similar to Kahoot in what a teacher creates questions and then projects them for students to answer. I created a multiplication assessment that could be used for 4th and 5th graders. The pros of this tool are that the results are instant, all students are actively engaged, and the assessment can be printed in a PDF form. The cons of this tool are that you can't insert videos, children often find Kahoot more appealing, and students who struggle with reading could find this form of assessment to be difficult and cumbersome. The next project is a digital simile I created using PowerPoint and a video editor. I first created a simile about my media life. My simile was, "My life is like a river, always flowing with information. My media life is like a river because I'm always learning new things. It never stops." Then I used pictures, words, and sound to create a visual representation of my simile. I learned about being a digital citizen through this project, and being a digital citizen means using the technological resources available to be active in your community, society, etc. It also includes using technologies in ways that are appropriate. Other ways I could use this digital story tool could be to create presentations to show parents at open house or have children create videos as an assessment option. This could replace paper and pencil assessments and still yield the same results. Here is an example of my digital simile project. There are so many rising trends in technology, some of which include maker spaces, schools becoming paperless and more digital, and virtual reality, which is what my focus was for this project. For this project, I created an infographic, which is a visual image, chart, or diagram used to display information. I created this infographic using Piktochart, which is a user-friendly online infographic design website. This particular infographic is on virtual reality, which is a three-dimensional computer-generated environment which can be interacted and explored with by a person. I can use Piktochart in the future by creating them based on the lessons I'm teaching and hang them in the room as reminders, or use them to create newsletters to send home to parents about upcoming school events. Here's a quick look at my Piktochart. This next project focused on demonstrating all the aspects of creating an effective presentation. I created this project through PowerPoint, and my selected topic was all about the basics of wakeboarding, which is a water sport in which a person is strapped to a board and pulled by a boat as he or she holds onto a rope. I learned that effective presentations typically have one picture on each slide that takes up most of the slide, has less than 7 words per slide, and has text that is easily seen by an audience, taking into consideration the size, font, and color. Great presentations usually incorporate music. Music helps set the tone and mood of the presentation. For example, I include a reggae song in the background of this presentation because wakeboarding, boating, and being in the water ties in with the beat of the song. Finally, I used ASLs in this presentation, which are active learning strategies. These are points in a presentation that are used to get the audience actively involved with the material. They're used to check for comprehension and keep the audience attentive. In this project, I used 2 ASLs. One was at the beginning where I asked the audience to brainstorm what they knew about wakeboarding, and the other one was a think, pair, share activity at the end where the audience shared information they learned about the presentation with neighbors and reflected on their thoughts. This next project reflects another mode to present material. I took my PowerPoint about wakeboarding and created a screencast. A screencast is a digital recording of a computer screen. In order to capture a screencast of my PowerPoint, I used an online resource called Screenomatic. Screencasting in a presentation because it allows you to capture what you have created on your computer and turn it into a personal narration, as you can also record your voice. The benefits of screencasting are that you can capture absolutely anything on your computer, can record your voice, and then these screencasts can be uploaded online for anyone to see. After the screencast is recorded and captured, then I was able to upload my video to YouTube straight from the Screenomatic. Screencasting is a great tool to use for online learning or those in other hospitalized institutions. Here's the example of my PowerPoint turned into a screencast.
Brown, and my presentation today is all about wakeboarding. Wakeboarding is one of my favorite sports to participate in during the summer. Take a close look at the far right side of the picture. You can see someone wakeboarding. I am going to share with you the basics of wakeboarding, which includes the equipment needed, how to stand up, and what jumping the lake looks like. Before we begin, I would like you to take a minute to brainstorm what you know about wakeboarding. You may know nothing at all, or maybe you've been wakeboarding before and know all about it.
This right here is the ASL. My last presentation I would like to share with you is Nearpod. This is the third mode of presentation that I learned about. Nearpod is an interactive classroom tool used to engage students in interactive lessons. All I did was go to the Nearpod site, upload my PowerPoint, and create interactive student responses through the presentation. The benefits of using Nearpod over PowerPoint is that it gives students a chance to be actively involved in the material, provides points where the students have to stop and reflect before moving on, and can be used to assess students' understanding throughout the lesson. Here's an example of my Nearpod presentation. This is the point where the student would have to stop and answer a question. Here's another opportunity for students to get actively involved with the material. Thank you for listening to my presentation.